What's up, pretty people? My name's Gypsy and you're watching Broken Dolly TV. We recently did a comparison video where we showed Miss Kit here and Miss Claudette next to some other dolls that are very similar to them, learned as much as we could about how they compare to those other dolls that I have in my collection. If you missed that video, be sure to go and check that video out. I'll have it linked in the description for you. But in this video, we're going to continue that process but with some of the other dolls from this line. Let's start with Heidi over here and Heidi from the looks line over here. I think this Heidi was from wave 2. I always get the waves all mixed up, y'all. I don't remember. I only have this one. I took her off of her made to move body and gave her a standard body because I don't display this doll that much, so I don't really care about what type of articulation she has as long as she's got some. The texture of this doll's original hair was a lot curlier and bushier, but I gave her a boil wash and made her hair more wavy, and I trimmed a lot of it and cut it into like layers, so she's got a completely different hairstyle than what she came with. I'm a big sucker for redheads. I do have like a sub collection of dolls with red hair. I needed to have this Heidi for sure. I know there were more redheads that came out in the Barbie looks line, but they didn't really appeal to me, so I didn't end up getting the other doll. I think it was a Victoria doll that had this similar hair. It was a little bit darker than this, but as you can see with the face of this Heidi versus this Heidi, they look so different. The redhead is a lot more sultry looking, the way that the screening is done, and her eye makeup is bolder. She looks like she going somewhere. Like she looks like she's got on club night makeup on, if I'm describing that well. And her lips, they just seem like they're a little tiny bit more shimmery and thinner. And she's got super arched eyebrows that match her hair. Whereas this Heidi has a plainer look and she's got bigger eyes and her lips even seem a little bit thicker. It looks like she's got more plump lips. So, and then her eyebrows, of course, her eyebrows are painted a completely different way. They're a little bit thicker and brown to match her hair. And their hair is phenomenally different from each other. Not only is the texture completely different, this one was curly, of course, when I first got her. And it's very smooth, but it's very like lightweight. It likes to float on her head. Her hair was tied up in a high ponytail when I first got her. I have done so much to this doll's hair to try to get it to lay flat, but it be struggling, alright? So I'm not really done fully customizing her hair just yet. Whereas this one, who also had a high ponytail when I got her, when I gave her a hot water treatment, her hair just fell right in line. Like, it's so cooperative. It does exactly what I needed to do. And the feeling, the smoothness of the doll's hair is so silky. Like, her hair is so buttery soft. This is one of the smoothest hair textures that I own on my Barbie dolls. Her hair rivals the smoothness of this hair, which is the same hair that was used on the Barbie Looks Simone doll. Yeah, so if you own the Simone doll from Barbie Looks line with the really dark skin, then you know what I'm talking about. Like, that doll's hair is so smooth. That's how this hair feels. And her natural hair texture is supposed to be straight with like a little bump at the bottom that curls in. But what I did was I put her hair in 2 big braided pigtails and then I let it sit for a few days in the pigtails. Then I took the pigtails out and the braids have caused her hair to wave up like this. So I'm gonna just enjoy this wavy look for as long as I can get it to stay before we go back to the straight texture, because I'm sure all of this will brush out at some point. I like the variety of the waviness, so I'm gonna leave it like this for a little bit. Now, as for their body types, Heidi did originally come with a regular original body type, though it was a made to move body, and right now she is still on an original body type, so I didn't change that, just the kind of joints that she has. Whereas Heidi is on a curvy body, so you can see the difference in their thickiness. I really adore her on this curvy body. I just as soon as I saw the pictures of her, I was like, oh yeah, she's the one. At the time, I didn't know she was a Heidi sculpt. I wasn't sure what sculpt she was because the pictures were kind of blurry when I first saw her. The whole vibe I was getting, it was like she was just giving me such Puerto Rican girl vibes, and I was like, I gotta have it. And her ponytail up on the top of her head, like, it's so long, it reaches down her back even when it's tied up. So I knew I was gonna have so much fun with the hair, but I didn't expect it to be this silky smooth. And I didn't expect for her hair to have such composure to it, if that makes sense. Like, they gave her a middle part, and in the ponytail, it doesn't look like she has any type of a part. I really appreciate that they put that detail into this doll where they gave her the middle part so that when her hair was let down, which it looks like they knew we were going to want to mess around with the doll's hair, you've got a more structured look to the style having the part there to work with. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Heidi sculpt, but seeing her like this kind of gave me more enthusiasm for it. So I'm really excited to see what other Heidis we end up seeing in the future. Let's now take a quick fast look at my Karl sculpts so we can compare them to Barbie Basics doll model number, I want to say she's number 2, 3. I can't keep track of all these numbers, okay? I don't know. Leave me alone. The number is up here on the screen. Karl, she is my only platinum blonde one in my collection right now. I have been comparing her a lot to the Tooth Fairy doll. So the oldest Karl that I own here is actually Darla here. She is Sweet Tea from the Barbie Look collection, not Barbie Looks. The Barbie look. Like, so confusing. She did have a different body when I got her. It was articulated, but it was like a model muse body. And I put her onto a regular made to move body. She's got bangs and this auburn kind of like chestnut brown kind of hair. Yeah, when they're side by side, you can see that their hair length is very similar. My blonde Karl still has slightly longer hair, but it's very similar in length. I think these two actually pair nicely together because they both have like an old-timey vibe to them. They just look so like 50s to me. I think that's interesting, but you can see that their screening is very different. My Barbie Basics Karl has smaller almond-shaped eyes, and then with my Sweet Tea Barbie, she's got these big cartoony kind of eyes. So they're very different looking, and you can see the lip makeup is also quite different from each other, and their skin tones are slightly different. Not sure if you can tell in this lighting, but my Barbie Basics Karl is actually slightly tanner than Darla. Darla is very pale. I think she's on a made to move yoga purple top body, which was the lightest complexion of that series. All right, so let's now take a look at my next Karl. I think this is the one that I got after Darla. So this one I call Cupcake, and she is also from the Barbie Look series of dolls that came with articulation. That was a great era. Those dolls had such good like accessories, really quality clothes. Oh, I loved that sweater dress thing that she came with. That was like one of my favorite pieces. The leggings that those came with as well. Where the hell are they? Oh my gosh, I haven't seen those pieces. I swear, there's like clothing pieces from my doll stash that's just straight up missing. I don't know where they went. I need to like dig through everything to find them because it is irking me to no end. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone sometimes, but oh my goodness, I hope I find them. Send me good vibes so I can find my lost dolly clothes that I love. This doll, one of my favorite things about her is her hair. Her hair is in this like wavy kind of a texture, and it's very long, and it's so pretty and so well behaved. Love, love, love it. She kind of almost looks like she has a little bit of like an underbite, the way that the lips were done. Her upper lip is so much thinner than the bottom lip, so she does really look very different than my other dolls. I don't ever mix up any of my Karl dolls, even though they all have the same sculpt. Their screenings just look so different to me, so I don't really mix them up. You can see again that Cupcake has much bigger eyes compared to the Barbie Basics doll, and her hair color is also quite different. What color is this? I don't know what people would call this color. It's also very different from Darla's chestnut kind of hair color. Darla's hair has red tints to the hair. Dark blonde. What is that, like dirty blonde? Is that what they call it? Maybe that's what this is. I don't know, but it's some type of shade of brown and blonde kind of mixed together. Very unique hair color. I really like it. Let's take another look at the next Karl that I added to my collection is this one, which is the Pool Chic Carl, and she has her earring stuck. It's pissing me off. She has a completely different skin tone altogether. Like, she's representing a totally different race. It's a medium brown color. It's kind of like a Hispanic or a light-skinned black girl's color. But she could also pass for other things. It doesn't have to be Hispanic or black. She could be mixed. She could be Indian. Like, she could be a lot of other different things. So I really like the versatility of how, you know, dolls look when they have different complexions. I named this one Jackson after my daughter. She's got such a completely different vibe to her. She looks very like sweet, very chic. Look at her eyes, like they're so different. Look at those long eyelashes on the bottom that she's got that I think none of my other Karl dolls have. Not that same length. I have one other Karl that has underlashes, but like not like that. And you can see here with the Barbie Basics version, her underlashes are very short compared to Jackson. But Jackson is actually on her original body, which is a semi-made to move body where she's got regular joints here at the arms, but her knees actually have a made to move double joint. So that's different. But I don't think she has any of the rotational joints, like the upper arm joint and the upper thigh joint. She doesn't have any of those. It's just that her knees have double joints. Like, why do you need double joints in your legs but nowhere else? I don't know. But I like her anyway, so I just left her the way she was on her original body. She's also part of that Barbie look series. By the time this wave came along, you know, they changed up the way that they were doing the bodies a little bit. So I think she was maybe the first one that had a body like that. I can't remember for sure, but I think so. And then my last Karl that I very recently added to the collection is this one here, who's supposed to be Rita Moreno, who's a real person. And Rita Moreno is a actress that played in West Side Story back in the day, like the original. So she's supposed to be made after her likeness, but of course it's not her face sculpt. It's the Karl sculpt that they used to represent Rita Moreno. So she's got her features like that mole under her eye, the dark coloring of the hair, the makeup. I really love the contrast of these two next to each other with like the black version and the white version. I really like how they look together. My Rita Moreno Barbie, I call her Rosita, and she has those underlashes too, but you can see hers are not quite as long as Jackson's. So these two, their eyes are like probably the most similar in the way that they're shaped. Rita Moreno Barbie, her lips don't have as much shine and glimmer to it as this one does either. So we've got another one here with some bangs. The rest of my Karl sculpts do not have bangs. Only these two do. So that's kind of unique for them. And she also has the shortest hair. I haven't really bothered to take the hair out of this ponytail because I like her hair tied up like this. It gives you a better view of her face. So I think I'm probably going to keep her hair tied up for a while. She does have rooted hair that I can take down if I want to. It's going to be about shoulder length when I take it down. Very unique, very pretty dolls. And you can see that all of these Karls, though you can clearly tell that they have the same sculpt, they do look very different from one another. And I can't say for sure, it could just be my lighting, but when I see these guys next to each other, Rita Moreno Barbie looks like she might be the same complexion as my Barbie Basics Karl? I don't know. So maybe these guys might be body swap matches for each other perhaps. But I already have her on a made to move body. I'm just saying, if you have Rita Moreno and you need to swap her onto a made to move, you might be able to do that if you want to put her onto the Barbie Basics dolls body with the easy swap head. Oops. But here's the thing, right? See these little dots on the back of her head? That's my indicator for an easy swap body. So this doll, she's on a made to move body that I've already customized. I modified the neck peg on the inside to behave just like the new Barbie Basics dolls neck pegs do. So I can just pop this doll's head off very easily and then pop on another doll's head on here if I need to. Or if I need to change her clothes or put on different accessories that are a little bit difficult, then I can just take her head off to do that. I shared a tutorial here on this channel for you guys to follow if it's something that you're interested in trying out, or if you just want to check it out to see like how complicated is this process really, because it ain't. You'll be shocked at how easy it is. So if you just want to have that information in the back of your head for a time when you might need it, I suggest you go ahead and watch that video. I'll have it linked in the description bar so you can take a look at it yourself. It's revolutionary, okay? The reason why I mark the bodies though is so that I know which bodies have this feature, so that when I'm going to rebody my dolls, I don't just accidentally pull on dolls that I haven't modified yet and then damage the doll's bodies like that, because with this method you don't need heat to take the doll's head off of the body. So I mark it, I just use those 2 dots to make it look like they're little beauty marks, and I just did that to all of my dolls that I modified so that I can tell the difference. So for example, with Cupcake here, you see there's no dots on the back of her head. So if I try to pull this doll's head off the same way, then I'm gonna run into a problem. Lastly, we're going to take a look at our Leia sculpts from our Barbie Basics line. So here's Leia, who's on her little petite body, and I was shocked at how many Leias I actually have. Too many. Another reason why I didn't really know if I wanted to keep this doll as part of my active collection, cause like I'm not a big fan of the Leia sculpt. I only really like one of them, and the rest of the Leias I have, they almost never see daylight. So coincidentally, all of my other Leias for some reason have a very Asian look. I swear this is just a total accident, but the Leia Kayla sculpt, they did happen to use these dolls specifically to make Barbie's Asian friend. So it's really not a coincidence that they all look kind of Asian, because they're like supposed to be. So I guess that makes her very unique in that she's the only Leia that I have in my collection who isn't supposed to be depicting an Asian face. What are the odds? So of my other 3, I've got this one here who is the Hard Rock Cafe version, and can you believe I found this doll at a thrift store? On her original body, she still had on her original top and some of her jewelry, but she was missing, I think she was missing her pants. Her original body is a model Muse, which I don't really like, so I ended up taking it off of that body and putting her on just a standard articulated body with pivotal knees. And I think her original body, am I bugging? I think she had a tattoo on it too. Only thing about this doll is that she just doesn't really appeal to me that much, you know? When I realized she was a Hard Rock Cafe doll, I was like, ooh, let me get her. She was like $3 or something at the thrift store, and she has these really cool streaks in her hair that are like blonde streaks, and the underside of her hair is blonde and the top is black. So she is kind of unique, but I don't think my issue is with the doll itself. I think I just don't really gravitate towards the Leia face sculpt in general, so that's why I can't really make up my mind whether I want to keep this doll in my collection or just sell her, like move on from her. I have no bond with this doll whatsoever, so I'm still debating. I don't really know what to do with her. And then we have this one who I call Ruby, and she is originally the Ruby Red fashionista doll that was so popular when she came out. Her and the kitty dress one, the kitty shirt, both of them were so popular. What happened to my kitty doll? I don't know. See, like, where are my dolls at? I don't know. I swear I'm like missing dolls. I don't know what's going on. Twilight Zone. Definitely. She's got a very different looking face up than all my other Leias. Her eyes are like a real distinct shape, and she came with these bangs and long straight hair, which is quite pretty, but this doll has the dreaded glue seepage problem with her hair. So it's very sticky, and you see how it clumps together like this. Thank you, glue, for making this possible. I have washed her hair so many times, used so many different products, nothing works. Her hair is just always gluey. So that prevents me from really putting this doll on display as I should. I really do like her, and I wish I could get more use out of this doll, because she's like one of the dolls that I really liked from that era of collecting that I was doing. I remember getting her when I lived in North Carolina, so like, you know, she brings back memories. I do have her on not a made to move body. I think she's got a pivotal body. No, she does have a made to move body. Well, what do you know? It looks like she's got one of these, I don't know what you call these bodies, where it's like the double jointed knee, but she's got a pivotal arm. Like she's got single joints here in her arms. What kind of hybrid body is this? I don't know. I don't know what we call this one. Yeah, I didn't put her on a made to move because I don't display her enough for me to bother with trying to put her on a highly posable body. So that's how she ended up on this one. She's also very pale in skin tone. I can't remember whose original body this is though, to be honest, to tell you who I swapped her with. So I guess that's just a mystery for now. But then my favorite of my Leias is this one here, who I named Min, and you guys who have been here for a long time is gonna recognize Min from my series Broken Barbie Show. She's like the high-strung one who's a total perfectionist and never can get a joke, and she just always just like scurrying about trying to get things done and just screeching at everybody. Min is on a tall made to move body. I put her on a tall body because I felt like even though stereotypically Asian girls are short, I feel like she's got just like a supermodel vibe to her because she's part of that Barbie look series, one of the earlier series, the City Shine one, I think. So she's got a very chic look about her, and her face up is so different than my other Leia dolls. So I felt like it would be appropriate for her to be much taller than the other girls, because I would say in another life she was a supermodel before she came to work at Broken Barbie show and drive everybody nuts. What a contrast next to Barbie Basics Leia, who is so short. Don't they look so different? Like, it's crazy that these are all the same sculpt. I think among all of the Barbie Basics dolls that I've seen so far, the biggest contrast between those sculpts and other dolls in my collection is this one here. When we looked at, you know, Heidi, Karl, Claudette, and Kit, it just screams those sculpts when you look at those faces, and you can see all the similarities in the faces right away. But when it comes to Leia and these other girls, you really do have to study the faces to see that this is the same sculpt underneath, because their screenings look so different from each other. And with Ruby here in the front, I did change her lipstick. I don't know why her lips are so all over the place, but I think I was doing a rush job. But nonetheless, I did end up changing her lips because I didn't like the color that they were. As is, the dolls are so different looking from one another. I like that about the facial sculpt, where you have to sometimes like really look at it to be like, which face is this? That's another great thing about the Leia sculpt, is that she's got such a blank slate face that you can pretty much do whatever you want with it and have her looking so different than the other dolls that have the same sculpt as her. So I think this face sculpt is clearly the most versatile one out of all of them. Shockingly, because this is actually the only face sculpt that they used that's an old face sculpt, if you want to call it that. The rest of the sculpts used in the Barbie Basics line are fairly newer sculpts, but this one here is an OG face. I'm shocked that, you know, we're getting so much versatility out of this face. And I do think if, like me, you have a lot of Leias in your collection, but they just happen to look very Asian-esque, this one here, the Barbie Basics one, is a great one to add to your collection to really switch their look up and still enjoy a Leia sculpt without it looking like all the other Asian faces in your collection. If you're into the diversity aspect of collecting like I am, I just love having dolls that have different hair colors, different hair textures, and different face ups, even if they're the same sculpts. So what did you guys think about these dolls that we looked at? If you want to see Claudette and Kit, make sure you go and watch my previous video so that you can catch up on all the cool things that we noticed about those dolls and the girls that we compared them to. Complexion wise, I think that Ruby here is the closest in complexion to this doll, but also she's very close to her as well. So I don't know if these guys are all interchangeable, but they look very similar to me. But tell me in the comment section if you have any of these dolls that I showed you, what you think of them, who did you like, who do you think is kind of weird. The Barbie Basics dolls are available to purchase at the time I'm recording this. If you want to add some to your collection, I have some links that are available in my description box in order for you to purchase them at retail price, not scalper prices. If you want to support my channel without costing anything extra for you, then this is a great way for you to do that, because I do get a tiny commission whenever someone uses my link in order to purchase these dolls. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Gypsy. Thanks for watching Broken Dolly TV, and until we meet again, have a dolly day.